94.5 FM. Halftime.
Yes, sir. It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and we're on the go at sasportstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez, Rock the Mic champ, number 4, co-host of the Fantasy Gods and Sunday Sports Grill here on San Antonio Sports Star. Going to be going till 2 o'clock today. Rocking it with James Pledger. What's going on, my man?
What's happening, Michael?
Dude, I'm in a good mood.
Why?
I got my exercise on.
Yeah, me too.
3.25 mile jog. Got the energy today, man.
Did my 2 mile kind of, and the thing is, I don't go out into the open area like you do.
Yeah.
So I'm in a gym. So what I do is I use the not the treadmill, but the elliptical.
Yeah.
Because it's easy on the joints, right? It's not as much pounding.
Well,
because I'm a child. But at the same time, it's got this mix up to where you start working your upper body, you get off the elliptical, you kind of stand on the sides and you work your arms. Like there's this whole thing. And it just gets my heart rate elevated for a couple of miles before I start my actual workout.
There's a glow and an energy that you get out of this. You know, and when I do my official weigh-in tomorrow, I think I would have lost my 30th pound.
Nice.
So I'm super excited. Going to go run 5 miles tomorrow. I'm excited, man. My vitals are good. I have some energy today, but man, we have a lot to talk about today. We are doing the halftime until 2 o'clock. Some questions here. Did Tony and Manu get snubbed? We're going to have a long talk about that. The NBA announced its 75 greatest players of all time. Lots of Spurs made it.
Yes.
But Tony and Manu were left off. Did they get snubbed? We're going to have a conversation about that. Devin Vassell led the Spurs in scoring a couple of nights ago. Quick question, Spurs fans. Who does he remind you of? Let's go back in time. Maybe it's a Spur player. Maybe it's somebody who played for a different team. But who does Devin Vassell remind you of? Because I can't pinpoint it.
I've got an idea in my head, and I think it's best to get multiple. Like initially when you said it, one person popped into my head.
Yeah.
But I think this is best farmed out to the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines at 210-656-3776. That's 210-656-ESPN. Or you can get us on Twitter. He is at 210 Fantasy God. I am at I Am Pledger. What do you think Devin Vassell reminds you of when you watch him play? Is it because to me, I think it's more about the body style than the type of play.
Yeah. We're also live on Facebook Live right now. We're also live on the station's YouTube page. Please listen and subscribe. Just look up San Antonio Sports Star on Facebook or YouTube, and you can be alerted to when our shows start. That's how I know. That's how I know when it's time to watch. One other thing, we're also going to have Pledger in about 15 minutes.
What?
Test my morality. In fact, before the show started, about 5 minutes before the show started, he got in my ear and said, I'm going to test your morality. Gonna be honest with you. I question it a little bit right now because I just finished up Midnight Mass on Netflix. Oh my God, that was so good. We're gonna have a long conversation about Midnight Mass and also what Pledger's streaming. But first, rest in peace. R.I.P. to Splashtown.
What?
Oh my God, I heard that last night, that it looks like Splashtown is closing for good. An iconic spot on the east side, Splashtown, San Antonio's only water park, looks to be closed for good. San Antonio City Council approved a zoning yesterday that's going to allow a company like Cavender to come in and develop it and build an auto dealership there.
So we're going from Splashtown to another of the 18 million car dealerships.
Yeah. Apparently it's going to be a Ford one.
Here's the thing. I thought there was a car shortage. I have people calling me all the time to try and get my car from me because like the new ones, they're not coming in as quick as they were. And you can tell because you drive past dealerships, the inventory is a little low when you drive by. I'm wondering why they're creating a dealership if there's not enough cars to go around right now anyway.
So I have some questions about this because it got me thinking. Splashtown, R.I.P. It looks like it's a dunner, like a goner. It's a done deal at this point, in my eyes, anyway.
Good riddance.
But I put a poll out there on Twitter last night, and I asked the question, which closing hurt the most? Is it Splashtown?
There's only one right answer.
Is it Malibu Castle? Was it Parapple County Fair? Or how about the Sky Ride over at Brackenridge Park? And we had so many people respond. I asked you last night, how many people do you think are going to respond? And I said, I hope 100 people. Dude, we had 300 people respond to this. So this actually touched a nerve.
Like 6 hours left on it.
Exactly. So it's kind of interesting because I look back at it and I have memories of Splashtown. I went a lot when I was a kid. We had a lot of church retreats out there. The only thing I remember was getting really sunburned and my feet were burning because there was no shade. So I'm not going to sit here and say that Splashtown was anything like Schlitterbahn, okay?
Because it wasn't.
But it has a sentimental value for a lot of people out there. Especially on the east side, on the south side. This is where you would go to hang out.
See, as a kid that grew up in Canyon Lake, near New Braunfels, Splashtown wasn't a thing because we had Schlitterbahn.
Yeah.
Schlitterbahn was the thing.
Yeah.
And nothing could compare to it.
It's like comparing Las Vegas to Chuck E. Cheese.
Exactly. So I already had the apple of the eye when it came to water parks. The one that hurt, and there's only one right answer in this, and I said that last night when I retweeted the poll. There's only one correct answer in all of these. As much as I love Pear-Apple and the Sky Ride, it's Malibu. It's Malibu Grand Prix. That is the only correct answer. You had a huge castle where you could go in and just play games all day long. And then you had putt-putt in the back. And then when you really wanted to, you could go out and drive little race cars around a track. It was fantastic. It was every kid's dream. I wish it was still there because as a 40-year-old kid, because we established this already, I'm not a real full functioning adult, I would go there again because I'll tell you, low key, I absolutely love going to main event.
What if I told you that there is something pretty much identical to Malibu Castle that does exist in San Antonio?
You better not be bleeping me.
I'm not. Green Acres. There's a place called Green Acres.
I've heard it's the place to be.
Green Acres over in China Grove, just outside of town.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
They have go-karts. They have the bumper boats. They have trampolines. They have video games. It's very much like Malibu Castle, but it didn't have the mystique because Malibu Castle, was up on I-10. You are in a go-kart whizzing by with all the cars on the freeway. Green Acres, I love it. I probably go there about once a month with my kids. It's over in China Grove, but it's out in the country.
Thanks for the invite.
It's a little bit out there. Next time. But man, I think back at it. I drove by Malibu Castle today.
It's got paintball too?
Yeah.
I have to go to this place now.
Look it up. Google it. Yeah, Green Acres. I'd be happy to keep them in business because I tell you what, if Green Acres went out of business, my kids would lose it. We are there a lot. But man, I drove by Malibu Castle today. And it's very depressing because I was there the day that Malibu Castle closed. It was the last day. My wife and I went over there. I remember my wife saying something to my daughter. My daughter was probably 3 or 4 years old at the time. She says, "Oh, look, there's a castle." And my wife looked at her and said, "Don't get used to it."
Did we maybe meet long ago in the distant past? Because I was also there on its final day.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. We did everything on the final day. We went, I tried winning the prizes. We had so much fun, but I go by there. They demolished the castle, right?
That one hurt.
But guess what? What is there right now? Nothing. There's not a damn thing there. It has been 5 or 6 years. There is not one thing at the Malibu Castle. So I put it on a poll. By the way, we got our 300th vote on this, asking the question, which closing hurt you the most? And Malibu Castle, 56.5%.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
I said
iconic.
there's only one right answer. And you know why it's iconic? Because it wasn't just a San Antonio thing. I had one near my house when I grew up in Houston.
Yeah.
And I had a season pass to that place, and I had the driver's license, and it transferred up here. So when we moved up here, I still had it. Like, Malibu Grand Prix was the place.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Splashtown came in second in the poll at 17%. Parapple County Fair at 14%, and then the Brackenridge Skyride, which, by the way, I don't know how that was legal, because that was a death trap. Okay, being flung up in the air in this like little gondola, it was awful. I have nightmares about that, but we need to have a conversation about Parapple County Fair. But first, on Facebook Live and on YouTube, people are commenting on this all over the place. Jonathan C. saying, hey, Green Acres got paintball. Sure does. Alfred Villarreal on YouTube. Splashtown was the only place in town before Fiesta Texas came to town, which is very, very true. Jonathan C. also with Westsiders no Funtown USA. Funtown USA was okay. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that it was a great place, but it was fun.
Jonathan C. also brings up Diversions. I spent many a time at Diversions over there off of San Pedro, and low key, I shed a tear when the Laser Quest shut down.
Yes. A lot of people were talking about Laser Quest. My daughter this morning, I was talking to her about Splashdown. I never took her there, but she said, whatever happened to Laser Quest? People were responding to us on Twitter saying that they had their first kiss at Parapple County Fair. Let's go back. Let's go back and talk about Parapple. I worked there for 3 summers. By the way, speaking of me working there for 3 summers, did you know this? Rob Thompson is a Splashtown alum. He opened Splashtown 37 years ago as a lifeguard. He told me this about an hour ago. I was like, are you serious? I'm trying to picture Rob Thompson. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I'm trying to picture him in little trunks, but still, very, 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 very Baywatch type gear.
I could
trying to save people's lives.
I could see him, the blue short shorts, whistle around the neck. Just, glazed over look in his eyes. Yeah. Hot girl comes up. What's up?
Well, because Rob Thompson, man, I mean, he's got something going for him. He's got the deep voice, but he's also like 6'3", right? So, of course, I'm sure the girls were checking him out. But, man, Rob Thompson opened up Splashtown, the OG lifeguard at that park.
See, I worked at Slitterbond back when I was...
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I was a lifeguard at Slitterbond for a while.
I spent 3 summers as a games attendant over at Parapple County Fair. Loved it. One of my favorite jobs of all time. Just, people come up to me, hey, I need $1. Dude, part of what I had to do over there was learn every video game so that I could help people advance to next levels. I mean, I was a gamer before gaming was a thing. And it was so much fun being out there. All my friends, because I went to Holmes High School, and this was right next to Holmes. And so everybody from the school was basically working there. You had the go-karts there. You had putt-putt. But, man, people ask all the time, why did that place shut down? Because all the employees were stealing. That's why. They had
not all of them.
Okay, first of all, there was one person that did not steal at that place, and his name is Michael Jimenez. I never stole from that place. Who was the one person who got fired for suspicion of stealing? It was Michael Jimenez. I'm there going, me? Go look at everybody else. I got fired because I had an old lady on my team who was complaining that her belt was $1 short, and she kept complaining about it. And I told her, I said, "Look, you're not going to get fired about it. It's $1. You're not going to get fired over $1." And she badgered me all day, and I finally just said, "Look, just take 4 quarters from the machine and just call it a day. I mean, just leave me alone." And then I got called up into the office. Did you say that it was okay to take $1 from the machine to level out her bag? And I got fired for that. So what did I do? A frustrated Michael Jimenez said, I know how all of these games work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to win all the big prizes, the Mickey Mouse phone, the big stuffed animals, which was like a leopard. I went over there, spent $20, and I won about $500 worth of prizes. And then everyone saw me winning. So people started lining up, giving me money so I could play on their behalf.
To win for them.
And their kids. And I tell you what, man, there was so much theft that I saw going on at that place. I was 16, 17, 18 years old. And they had no turnstiles. They had no way of checking to see how many people were playing putt-putt, how many people were paying to ride the go-karts. And it was just like, I saw people go, oh, that's $5 a person for putt-putt. There's 4 of you, $20. And they would just put it in their pocket.
Yep.
The only one who didn't steal was me. And I'm the one who got fired. I am 44 years old. This is 27 years ago. And I'm still frustrated about this.
Ronald Schmicka on our Facebook Live says, do you remember Astroworld? As a dude who grew up in Houston, absolutely I remember Astroworld.
Astroworld's
That place
great.
was awesome. You had the Cyclone, you had Twister, you had Grease Lightning, you had XLR8, which was one of my favorite rides, the Texas Giant. Man, that place was awesome. Astroworld and Waterworld, man. I'd spend all of my summers there. A lot of people saying, Frank Valdez saying DBZ's Discovery Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic as a kid.
I'm glad Ronald Schmidtka reached out. I knew Ronald growing up. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but Ronald, hey, thanks for listening, man. I remember when he mentions Astroworld several years ago before it closed. I decided that I wanted to take a trip to Astroworld, and I got in the car with a few friends. We drove to Houston, super excited. We showed up and Astroworld was closed. Nothing going on there. I kind of felt like it was that Christmas vacation, that vacation movie where I showed up and it was just empty. And I kind of like knocked on the door over there and I said, hey, when are you guys opening up? And they said, hey, we're closed this week because we're renovating the place. We're cleaning the place. And I told them I drove all the way from San Antonio to be here. And they let me in for an hour, me and my two friends for an hour. We rode every ride over the course of that hour. It was amazing. But man, Splashtown's dead. Parappa County Fair is dead. Jonathan C. on YouTube saying that this is my Wally World moment. Hey, Pledger, do we got people calling in about this? Do we have people calling in about this?
Oh, no. They're not talking about this. When we get to our Spurs stuff.
Well, tell you what, man. Here's Pledger with the 411 and the 210. Let's get some sports headlines going.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Headline 2, Texas Longhorn linebacker Jake Ellinger's cause of death was revealed as an accidental overdose. University of Texas linebacker Jake Ellinger's younger brother of Sam Ellinger, the quarterback, died May 6 from an accidental overdose in what was believed to be Xanax laced with fentanyl, this according to a statement from the Ellinger family. Ellinger's family said in that statement, quote, the spread of counterfeit pills is an ongoing and significant issue throughout our country, particularly in schools, colleges, and universities, end quote.
That whole situation was sad. I remember when it all went down and Ellinger had just gotten drafted. His brother had just gotten drafted, and it's supposed to be the greatest moment of his life, but he's having to deal with this family tragedy. And all the rumors that went around, I just feel so bad for that family, but rest in peace, my man. Next topic.
Headline 1.
Chris Taylor keeps the Los Angeles Dodgers World Series hopes alive with 3 homers in Game 5 of an 11-2 win over the Atlanta Braves. Not only does the win keep their season alive, but it keeps the chances of an Astros-Dodgers World Series alive as Houston attempts to close things out tonight at Minute Maid Park against the Red Sox at 7:08. I know you're not a baseball dude, but how excited would you be for Dodgers-Astros and could anything else live up to that hype in this World
No,
Series?
that's what we should be cheering for, okay? Because of just the animosity that these two teams have for each other. And the Atlanta Braves, it must be difficult to be a fan of that team because they always get to the top of the mountain, but never to the very, very peak. And man, but yeah, I will cheer for a Dodgers, Astros, but gonna be honest with you, not exactly sure who I cheer for. I think I cheer for the Dodgers.
What?
Dude, I mean, come on, man. And don't give me the whole thing about all teams are cheating.
Do you not believe that to be true?
Dude, there's different degrees of cheating, man. And the Astros went far and beyond what most teams do.
Far and beyond, they hit a trash can. I've talked to multiple, both minor and major league players that say the ability to comprehend the banging on a trash can in a loud stadium because they're at home, so fans are cheering for them, while a pitch is coming at you when you have 0.3 seconds to react to an auditory sound with a visual cue at the same time is dang near impossible. Doesn't help.
They had cameras in center field, man. In the stands, they had cameras out there.
The Red Sox, who are not getting vilified for this, by the way, were wearing Apple iWatches and stealing signs to where they would get a buzz. So all they're doing is waiting to feel something. They're not trying to process sounds and visuals. They're literally waiting on a buzz on their wrist.
Yeah, I remember.
Nobody talks about that one.
I remember Altuve showing his chest after that one home run where he was like, "I got nothing on. I got no buzzers on." Next topic, brother.
Headline 0.
Final headline, Ben Simmons tells the Philadelphia 76ers he's not mentally ready to play after their meeting today, sources say. Simmons has told the Sixers not only is he not mentally ready to play up to his expectations, but that he's met with Coach Doc Rivers and team medical professionals Friday to inform them of his status. Simmons also spoke with teammates and has to be evaluated. The next steps will be based on the determination of medical professionals, according to a source.
First of all, I want to apologize to all Spurs fans out there who follow me on Twitter. Because for a long time, I've been saying that I wanted to have Ben Simmons on this team. I have changed my mind. Please forgive me for saying that because Ben Simmons, he is a cancer on any team he's going to go to. And I saw something online the other day where it showed his 2016, 2017 college synopsis, I guess you could say, the scouting report. And they basically called him a cancer then, that everything was about him back then.
At LSU, yes.
Yes, this is not a new thing. This is not a new thing. It's going to end ugly, and I don't know where he's going to go. I mean, he's talented, but I mean, why would you give up so much? Why would you want to give up what Daryl Morey wants for that guy?
Because he's going to do it to you too.
Exactly.
And this is the other thing. Because this is the most important thing about this story is claiming mental health issues. So he tried to hold out, was scared of missing money, ends up reporting, and does something detrimental to where he gets kicked out and suspended for the first game. That's not working. They expect him back. And so he goes to I have a sore back issue the other day before walking out of practice. That didn't work. So now he's claiming mental health. And I applaud everyone that has to deal with mental health and needs these. This is obviously a ploy. This is the latest trick in the I don't want to play playbook. And the fact that you're claiming mental health is ruining it for the people that actually have to suffer with this. And that is a horrible thing.
We saw this with Kawhi Leonard. I mean, Kawhi Leonard just stole money from the Spurs. That should have been a felony, what he did at the Spurs. He took paycheck after paycheck after paycheck, month after month after month, and just offered lies. And to this day, there are people who defend Kawhi Leonard and say, no, it was his injury, and we don't know what's going on. But more and more as time goes on, and you see this Ben Simmons issue, you realize that Kawhi played us, and he played this franchise. And I never thought I would get to the day where I would think to myself, I'm glad that Kawhi's not on the team anymore. Because it's not like the NFL where you have 50 some odd players on the team and you can have one or two cancers on the team. The Cowboys can continue to win if they have one or two people there. But if you're a star player and you've got 15 roster spots, if your star player is acting up, I mean, it just kills the season. Kyrie is doing that in Brooklyn, but they have so much talent there that they can withstand that. Most other teams cannot withstand that. But hey, when we come back, Spurs are back in action.
That's the 411 and a 210.
We're going to give the 411 on the Spurs when we come back. Spurs in action tonight against the Denver Nuggets. Can we make it 2-0? And did Tony and Manu get snubbed? The NBA released its top 75 players of all time. Tony and Manu left out. And I'm going to let you know something, Pledge. I think only one of them got snubbed.
Truth.
I'll tell you which one that is when we come back. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
The college football tradition lives here with in-depth analysis and breakdowns from our team during the week of the Aggies, the Longhorns, UTSA, and more. Catch the gridiron action on Saturdays with live play-by-play from around the country. Bowl season. Let's go! The college football playoff and the national championship comes to life right here. Love it! On San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
So, as you guys know, Mark's gone.
The float artist at Fred's Floral just took off, days before the parade. They need a replacement before business passes them by.
Oh, and who am I going to get to finish the float?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. No one is funnier than you. People laugh just thinking about the things you've said. I'm laughing at one of them right now. Coworkers repeat your jokes at the office, but they're never as good as when you tell them, and shame on them for trying. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better knowing you could save when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Although I'm sure you'd have a funnier way to say that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
When you have trouble sleeping, it's tough. When kids have trouble sleeping,
Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, just one more story?
For nights like this, try Vicks Pure Z's Kids. Our great tasting gummies are specially formulated for kids with a unique blend of botanicals and a low dose of melatonin to support their natural sleep cycle. Best of all, they're drug-free and non-habit forming. Help your child fall asleep naturally with Pure Z's Kids Gummies. Consult with a doctor before use. For ages 4 and up.
So I heard from my friend's neighbor's sister that Kohl's has the lowest prices of the season and had to go see for myself. The deals, they're so good. I got a cute pair of sew boots for $24.99, my favorite jeans for $14.99, and the big one towels and pillows for $2.99, which will come in handy for holiday guests. I even got some Kohl's cash, so gonna go back for a pumpkin candle or two. Gotta live my best fall life. Select styles. Ends October 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details. Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Broadcasting live from the 50-yard line. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Yeah. Grilling with the Blitz. Upload a photo of what's on your grill and enter a description and recipe, and you can win a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Winner is chosen every Thursday at 6 on the Blitz. Welcome back to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star. My name is Michael Jimenez, joined by James Pledger.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, man, it's a great day. It's a great day because it's a Spurs game day.
Woo!
Tonight, 8 o'clock against the Denver Nuggets. Both teams undefeated.
I have a question, though.
What's up?
We can't do game day, Bala game day anymore, right? That goes with Patty.
That goes with Patty. We got to come up with something different. Excite night or something like that.
I don't like that at all.
You don't? Okay. Well, the Spurs are back in action. They looked very good against the Orlando Magic, a glorified G League team. Denver coming off a win over the Phoenix Suns. They beat the Phoenix Suns 120-98 a couple of days ago. But in the last game, a lot of Spurs players looked good. 7 players in double figures. One of them almost with a triple-double. Jakob Poeltl was 3 assists away from a triple-double. And a lot of people have clowned on him over the past couple of years. But should we be giving him some respect these days? Some more respect? And right now, we have a caller into the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. Drew in the Woodlands has something to say about Jakob Poeltl. Welcome to the show, my man.
Yeah, what's up there, James and Mike? I mean, I like listening to you on the Locked On Spurs podcast with Jeff Garcia. Excellent work. You guys bring the heat. You guys bring the knowledge. I mean, I have to bring up a point here about the Spurs Insider podcast. Your competitors. I mean, it's run by Mike Finger, Jeff McDonald, you know, the Ink guys, the Express News guys who say they're insiders but make mistakes like saying that last year that the Rockets didn't have any big men on the team and that we should just roll over them. Totally ignoring the fact that they have a hybrid big man who destroys us. And I'm at the, but anyway, that's not here nor there. They've been pooping on Jakob Poeltl for the whole time that I've been listening to their podcast. I listen to them all. You know, I torture myself. And the day before opening the game, they really had like 20 minutes of crappy material of their 34-minute podcast about Jakob Poeltl. And I'm challenging those hacks, those fish wrap hacks, to make a public apology to Jakob Poeltl for his emergence as the Dollar Tree version of Sabonis. I mean, wow. I'll take that.
Wow.
It brings up his value. I mean, I'll take that if it brings up his value. We don't know what this team's going to be like next year or by the trade deadline. But if we can get more games, Dollar Tree Sabonis games from Poeltl, that brings up his value, brother. We might have Ayton because of it. Come on, be real insiders, guys. I mean, not just guys who've been, I know it's kind of tough. You guys have been in Pyongyang. You've been beaten down by Pop for over a decade, and he's stolen your fire. But come on, do better. That's my point. Thanks.
Man, Drew says we bring the heat.
He kept the receipts. Here's the thing. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Yeah. I admitted when I was wrong on Dak Prescott. I thought Carson Wentz was going to be the better quarterback up until, a couple of years ago. Once the tide started to turn, I thought the injury slowed him down, maybe. But I'll eat that L. I'll always admit when given the evidence when I'm wrong. But I know he had a triple-double, but like you said, it was against a glorified G League team.
Yeah.
So if he continues this, I like Jakob Poeltl. I've always said I think he's best suited kind of coming off the bench and being part of that second unit, or he can start, but you have to realize his limitations switching onto the perimeter. And he played extremely well in that game against the Magic. He ate. He feasted. Can he do that against Joker?
No, he can't. And that's the thing. I like Pirtle. Okay. I think that two-headed monster that we have with Jakob Pirtle and Drew Eubanks is very interesting because Drew has changed his play. He is now more offensive minded. He's practicing that jumper, that mid-range jumper, maybe even behind the three-point line as well. I love me some Drew Eubanks. And Jakob defensively is fantastic.
So great. Great post defender.
I think out of all the teams in the league, he is solid for the Spurs when it comes to about 24 to 25 of the opponents. But there's about 5 or 6 teams. There's Joker, there's Anthony Davis. There's certain players that are going to give him fits. And tonight's going to be one of those players.
His contract is exactly perfect.
Yes.
$10 million a year. He does exactly what you want, maybe a little bit more than what you would expect out of a $10 million a year guy. But he's perfect because while he's not an offensive threat, he can generate some offense because of the way that the Spurs are currently constructed. You have slashers that can dish and they move the ball around, and the way they move the ball leads to him getting easy buckets around the rim, which is what he's great at doing, is working around the rim. If you ask him to step out into the mid-range game, that's what Drew Eubanks is for.
I've noticed that Pirtle gets these rebounds where I think the opposing team sees him and says, yeah, we're not going to go for it. And I've questioned that. I was like, man, he's getting rebounds that, they don't contest them anymore. If he can just take it to the hoop a little bit stronger, finish it. I'm tired of chipping it back in. On Facebook Live, Esteban Ramon says it's the HEB commercials that made Yak step it up. Frank Valdez says that he can go to the Five Below Jakob. Wow.
Well, Five Below is a step up from the Dollar Tree.
That is true. That is true. Spurs in action again tonight. I'm looking forward to this game because I want to see what Lonnie Walker is going to do. I think Lonnie Walker had a good game one. Jeff Garcia,
great game one.
Jeff Garcia from Spurs Zone and Ken's 5. We had that conversation immediately after the game a couple of nights ago. And I said, man, Lonnie looked great. And he goes, he did? I was like, he looked really good.
He did.
He had the best plus minus out there. The ball moved when he was out there. He had the green light. And there was only one time in the game a couple of nights ago against the Magic where I thought a Spurs player hesitated to shoot a jumper. Only one time. But the green light's on. They're willing, they're letting them shoot.
All right. Remember, this was against the Magic. So let's take everything in context. They're one of the handful of teams that we both agreed the Spurs were better than as currently constructed going into the season.
True, but you got to play who's in front of you.
You do. But I just want you to remember, A, what is that? And B, what has been the pitfall for Lonnie Walker in the past? Consistency, carrying that from game to game. We've seen the aberrations. We've seen that. Now, can he continue that through these next few games, even against tougher opponents like they're about to face with the Lakers and the Nuggets and the Bucks on Saturday? Like this is a stretch of game against some really good opponents that are also going to pose some problems defensively. This is where we really kind of find out what the Spurs are, I think. And if Lonnie can continue that consistency, there might be something there.
Yeah, I was fascinated about Bryn Forbes only playing 5 or 6 minutes. I wonder if Thad Young had a DNP, coach's decision. I wonder if he's going to be on the court tonight because we need size against Joker. And
not just Joker.
Yeah, the Spurs need size today. Are they going to play a two-headed monster there with Eubanks and Pirtle out there at the same time?
It depends what kind of lineup the Nuggets end up going with, but you look at them and the lineups that they can threaten with, whether it's Bol or Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon, like they've got dudes with size that can also move. And that's going to be an issue. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Spurs try and combat that size.
One of my favorite lineups against the Magic was when the Spurs got out there with Derek, Lonnie, Devin Vassell, McDermott, and Eubanks. For some reason, I thought the ball moved very well with those guys out there. And then when Lonnie and Vassell were out there together in the third quarter, things became magical. Again, we were playing against a team that had started 2 rookies, right? And had a lot of rotation players that were out. But still, it was nice to see them run. It was nice to see the horses run out there. So that game is tonight at 8 o'clock, and I'm excited. Quinn Hudson, Rock the Mic champ number 5, who, by the way, has 3 comedy shows that we're going to talk about later on today, so we can let you know how you can see this man live perform his comedy routines. Vassell and Lonnie are the best players on 2K, and Primo is sneaky athletic. 2K don't lie. Hey, man. 2K is real, man. That's legit.
Frank Valdez says Lonnie's been showing he can be a playmaker, attract a lot of eyes on him.
Yes, sir. You know, we'll be talking more about the Spurs at 1 o'clock, but let's talk about Spurs playmakers of the past. The NBA has announced its top 75 players in honor of the 75-year anniversary of the league. Now, they did this 25 years ago on the 50th anniversary. Now I feel old saying that.
Top 75 or top 76?
I heard about that. What happened?
There was a tie.
There was a tie?
Yeah.
There's no ties.
There's no ties in baseball.
Who were the ties? So not only did 2 Spurs get potentially snubbed, they weren't even 76. Is that what you're telling me?
That is what I'm telling you.
Okay, so they released the list, and there's a lot of interesting names out there. A lot of Spurs are on there. Tim Duncan, obviously. David Robinson, George Gervin. We got to see what Kevin Durant looked like in Gervin's jersey the other day for that promo. Kawhi Leonard was also on there, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say that he's a Spur. He won a title with the Spurs.
Okay.
He's a Spur in my opinion. But the 2 that were left off were Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. And I got to thinking, who are the ones that shouldn't be on that list? And there's some names on there that people are kind of throwing around saying, why were these people included? Names such as Dominique Wilkins. Damian Lillard was on there.
Yep.
Bill Walton, Anthony Davis. Those are the 4 that are considered to be the most controversial.
Bill Walton, I understand, because all they did was add 25 players to the original 50 that they set back in the 90s. There was a 50th anniversary team of players that they all brought in. All 50 of those players made the 75. So all they did was sprinkle in 25, I guess technically 26 new names.
Okay, so Dominique Wilkins was in there. Human highlight film. I loved him growing up, but he was more about the dunk contest and averaging 28 points a game for a bad Atlanta Hawks team. That's how I remember him. Damian Lillard, I think, is one of the most athletic and most talented players, but he has nothing to show in his trophy case. There's nothing there.
He's a great player. I don't know if he's one of the top 75 of all time.
Right. I think he's one of the top 75 talents. That doesn't mean he's one of the 75 greatest players. Okay. If you don't know what that means, Troy Aikman is a great quarterback, but Tony Romo is more talented. Okay. There's a difference between talent and greatness. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, Tony and Manu, I don't think Manu deserves to be in there. I think Manu is a top 100 player.
So you and I are picking a different Spur for the top 75.
I'm glad we did not talk about this before the show. Manu is a fantastic player, first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt. First ballot Hall of Famer. But it's because of everything that he did as far as win the gold medal, beat the US, win the gold medal in 2004. All the things that he did in the NBA. He's a champion. I believe that he's a top 100 player, but I wouldn't have put him in the top 75. But Tony Parker with 4 rings, and a finals MVP, being one of the top 50 of all time in
probably 2 finals
assists.
MVP if Kawhi makes a free throw.
Yeah. It's a very good point.
He was having a really good series.
That might have been Danny Green still, though. But the fact of the matter is that I think Tony is the one that got snubbed that wore the silver and black.
See, I think it's Manu, and it's not just because of what he did statistically. It's what he meant to those teams. He defensively, it's a lot like Scottie Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
Michael got all the shine. Scottie Pippen did a lot of the dirty work, and he still ended up on the top 50 greatest players. So I think Manu, from what he did, his vision, his ability to make plays happen kind of off script, like these things are, it's not things that you could coach, and it was things that Pop had to learn to let go of and let Manu do.
One thing I will say about both Tony and Manu is that they are two of the most influential NBA players on the court over the last 20 years. A lot of players mimic how Tony goes in there, would do the runner, teardropper, how Manu would do the Euro step.
Yep.
He perfected it. He may not have invented it. He perfected it. And then Tony going out there and just, just being an all-around good player. He did everything out there. I think that they're influential players. So if you want to say that Manu belongs in the top 75 simply because of that, I would buy. But when it comes to other things, not necessarily.
Here's the thing. For me personally, I'm not sure I'd put either of them in the top 75. There are people I'd take out, but it's to get people like Dikembe Mutombo in.
No.
Dikembe Mutombo may have been one of the greatest defenders of that era that included David and Hakeem and Patrick Ewing, who are all in the top 50.
This might be the only time in recent memory where I can think that you and I disagree on a topic. But man, I've seen interviews in the past with Manu Ginobili, or people talking about Manu Ginobili. Kobe Bryant talks about how Manu was one of the 2 or 3 best shooting guards that he ever played against. We've seen, if you take a look at the stats of what Tony Parker was able to accomplish over his career, he is one of the greatest players of all time. And I look at it because, again, it's talent versus greatness, and they're calling it the 75 greatest players of NBA history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Tony has 4 rings, man.
Tony
has a Finals MVP. Tony's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Lillard might be more talented. Anthony Davis might be more talented, or
rings
more
mean a lot, but they're not the end all be all.
Exactly, but it's not like Tony didn't do nothing.
No, I'm not saying he didn't. But at the same time, if you had to choose both of them in their prime, Damian Lillard, Tony Parker, who are you going with? I think I skew Lillard.
If you're just going by pure talent.
Yes.
Pure talent, yes.
Which one's going to make your team?
Right.
Which one's starting if you put them on the same team?
But again, we're talking talent versus greatness. It's the 75 greatest players of all time, not the 75 most talented players of all time.
Michael, here's the issue. The others were great because of Tim's greatness. Lillard's never gotten to play with that kind of greatness, so we don't know what he would become under that type of greatness. But all ships rise in a rising tide.
Okay, so Tony and Manu would never have won a title without Tim. I get it. But Tim would never have won 5 without Tony and Manu. Might have won 2, might have won 3, but he needed that help to get over the top. It is a team effort. It's a collective thing. That is why LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard are NBA mercenaries, going from team to team to team to team, because they're trying to find this compilation that works. Because if it was something where they could win it by themselves, they would have stayed put and won by themselves. But there's a reason why they collude to win together.
656 ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. What say you? Jesse wants to weigh in on our argument on the top 75 snubs between Manu and Tony. Jesse, welcome on to halftime.
Hey, guys, I think that both of them should have been on there. Number one, Tony is Tony. He was a leader of a team. Pop molded him into who he needed him to be to lead our Spurs. Manu, a few years before he retired, there was an article on the Bleacher Report. Granted, it's the Bleacher Report, but they compared his numbers to only 2 other guards. And those 2 other guards were Bird and Magic. That says a lot. I believe both of them should be on there.
Jesse, thank you so much for the call, man. He believes that both deserve to be in. I get it. The arguments are there. Frank Valdez on Facebook Live says the Celtics big three is in, but ours isn't. Okay, I get that, right? But you have to understand the Celtics big three, they had Hall of Fame careers before they joined the Celtics. So I get it why they're in. Okay, but it's one of those things where you look at it. I mean, there's 75 players out there. There's like 30 some odd teams, and the Spurs have 4 listed on there. George Gervin, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and if we want to claim him, Kawhi Leonard. So it's not like they snubbed the Spurs. Can you imagine, though, if the Spurs had 6 of the 75?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that some other teams might have been upset about that? So maybe they just wanted to spread the wealth around.
I don't know, because I mean, this is a poll created by the NBA of their in their eyes, the NBA, their top 75 players of all time. So at that point, it is what it is. It is the league kind of accumulating its own thing. And it's fun for us to debate who should have been, who shouldn't be. But if you think about it, there are a lot of players not on this list of the top 75 that we've had to get through, whether it's Vince Carter or Walt Bellamy or Dikembe Mutombo or Chris Mullins.
We have a lot. I've enjoyed this conversation, but we have a lot more Spurs to talk about. At 1:00, we're going to be talking about Devin Vassell. Who does he remind you of? I've had a hard time figuring this out. I have a player who I think he reminds me of, and I'm going back as a former Spurs great that I think Devin Vassell reminds me more and more of every day. And also when we come back, Pledger's going to try to convince me that drinking 1,500-year-old alcohol is a good thing. Mm-hmm. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Score $1,000 now. Enter the winning keyword, UTSA. UTSA at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Your source to local news and sports in San Antonio begins with the San Antonio Express News. We've collected, written, and shown the stories that matter most to San Antonio. Look no further than the San Antonio Express News to continue to provide information and strength to the community. Whether it's on the field or on a court, we provide the ground local coverage. Go to expressnews.com for the most up-to-date high school and college sports coverage. Subscribe today at expressnews.com.
Do you love your garage? Can you get your cars and the kids' bikes in? Jason Minix here for Garageization, your garage storage solution. With a variety of shelving, overhead racks, slat walls, and closed cabinet options, Garageization can make your garage functional for the entire family. Call 210-664-4494 and have them give you a free customized plan for your family's needs. For over a decade, Garageization has helped people love their garage. Learn more online at garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at exergen.com.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, collections, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-491-8606. That's 800-491-8606. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-491-8606 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Hey, it's Rob with my good buddy Jack Overman from Service First AC Repair and Plumbing. Hey, Jack, when someone calls you for plumbing or an AC repair, can you fix it that day?
No sweat.
What if it's in the middle of the night?
No sweat.
Weekends?
No sweat.
Service First AC and Plumbing has put San Antonians first for over 14 years, with trustworthy and reliable technicians on hand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Service First is standing by to help you when you need them. Hey, Jack, what about free quotes?
No sweat.
And half-off service and free tune-ups?
No sweat. With Service First AC Repair and Plumbing, we don't sweat the small stuff or the big stuff.
Call Service First AC Repair and Plumbing. 210-NO-SWEAT. That's 210-NO-SWEAT. Anything else, Jack?
Thanks for having me, Rob. My team and I would be honored to assist you with all your AC and heating needs. Just give us a call, and we'll head right over. 210-NO-SWEAT.
210-NO-SWEAT. That's 210-NO-SWEAT.
License number TACLA 27100C.
Like a lot of women these days, Mackenzie Tudor knew exactly what she wanted in an engagement ring.
I'm a big fan of Pinterest. I've been studying this for years.
She wanted a pear-shaped diamond in a certain designer setting, but became frustrated quickly when most jewelers just didn't have it.
You can go in a lot of diamond stores and they don't have the pear shape. They may have one option. They may have two if you're lucky.
Then she and her boyfriend Tim found Diamonds Direct, with one of the largest selections of loose diamonds in America in stock every day.
Diamonds Direct had more than dozens of the exact size and shape of diamond that I was looking for.
And because Diamonds Direct carries all the top bridal designer lines, names like Verragio and Simon G, finding the ideal setting was just as easy.
The styles at Diamonds Direct, they go right along with Pinterest. They are exactly what every girl's looking for.
Diamonds Direct, the exact diamond you want, the designer ring you've been dreaming of. No compromise necessary.
I can't say enough about how many compliments I get on my ring from Diamonds Direct every day.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Get your share of 20K 12 times a day. It's the Big Score. Listen each hour weekdays between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. for the winning word. When you hear it, enter it at sasportstar.com. You could win $1,000. Complete rules at sasportstar.com. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Everything's bigger in Texas. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Want a chance to win tickets to every Dallas Cowboys home game this season? It's simple. Go to sasportstar.com and register to win. Win tickets to every home game on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Welcome back. This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star. My name is Michael Jimenez, joined by James Pledger. Fun time. We're going to 2 o'clock today, but man, some of the conversations that we have during the commercial breaks are so much fun. You are so vain right now, my man.
Oh, 100%.
Because
I'm normally vain, but it's getting to a different level right now.
Yeah, Pledger says, hey, man, you've been working out. You've been looking good. Do you ever look in the mirror and think to yourself, God, I look good? Pledge, why did you ask me that question?
Because this morning, as I was getting out of my workout gear, I was in front of the mirror and I just start to see some definition in my chest. The abs are starting to come back a little bit. My arms are fresh off a pump and they look really good. There's some veins coming out of the bicep. I'm like, man, I look good.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the next thirst trap photos that you post on Instagram and Twitter. It's amazing. I've lost 30 pounds. One of my favorite things, though, about losing weight is I feel better. I've got more energy. I think listeners may see that I have, may feel that I have more energy. Dude, I got back from University Hospital yesterday. The results of my cholesterol, I have dropped significantly from 225 to 183. I'm back in normal range. My blood pressure has gone from 153 over 95 to 112 over 70. My weight, I'll be honest with you, man, I ballooned to 255 this morning. I weighed in just over 225. I'm almost at a 30-pound weight loss.
You look good, my man.
It's good times. I've always been a stocky guy. But I will say this, There are very few people out there who can run the distances that I run. And people will say, well, I can run faster. I'm like, yeah, put on 60-pound vest or something like that, and you'll see what it's like for me to run. Okay. We have another hour of halftime. Coming up, we're going to be talking more about the Spurs. Devin Vassell. Pledge and I have been in love with that guy since he was at Florida State. We have the receipts.
I'm going to test your morality.
And you're going to test my morality. This is halftime. We're coming back for another hour on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Do you have what it takes to rock the mic?
Hey, this is RJ Ochoa.
Hi, this is Carolina Teague.
Hey, San Antonio, it's Thomas Mott.
Slacker Sports Bar presents Rock the Mic. Now is the time to submit your 1 minute or less sports take video clip at sasportstar.com. From there, we narrow down to the top 12 finalists with 4 rounds of live in-person auditions. Who will be the 2021 Rock the Mic champ? It could be you. Rock the Mic presented by Slacker Sports Bar and in part by Beam Suntory.
Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect fever is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
We're back and better than ever. A new web interface for the start of the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline.net remains your #1 spot for all the basketball and football betting content this season. From basketball, football, baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and right up to the upcoming UFC events. So don't wait to check out all the latest news, odds, and information for the 2021 season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to find all the info on your favorite sports. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
Hi, welcome to Smoky Moe's.
At Smoky Moe's Barbecue, we smoke our meats fresh, in-house, each and every day. We think it makes all the difference in the quality of our moist, flavorful brisket and turkey, and the mouth-watering tenderness of our ribs and pork loin. Got a crowd? We've got group packs and full-service catering. Up early? We've got made-to-order breakfast tacos. Find your store at SmokyMoe'sBarbecue.com and come see us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smoky Moe's Barbecue. The pit is lit.
Introducing the latest innovation in water technology. The new Nebbia by Moen Quattro Showerhead offers 4 unique experiences to choose from, designed to soothe, clarify, relieve, and cleanse. An indulgent shower experience engineered to use up to 50% less water. Water designs our life. Who designs for water? Visit Moen.com to learn more.
Your life, your hopes, your passions. These things are none of our business. Your deodorant rash, your favorite cheese, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. That's really none of our business. Because your life is private. And unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Oh, what kind of dog is that? That's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom.
A single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Halftime.
Yes, sir. It's hour number 2 of halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez, Rock the Mic champ number 4, joined by James Pledger. Another hour of sports talk radio. My man, this show is going by fast.
Yeah, I guess a little talk about nostalgia.
Yeah.
And the greatest parks to have closed down in the San Antonio area, and a little top 75 debate, and some vanity will do that.
I've had people coming at me saying, "Hey, Photon closed down years and years ago." That was a place that
What
was
place?
Photon. It was kind of like laser tag before laser tag was laser tag.
Laser Quest was
Better.
Yeah.
Yes. Man, we're having fun. We're gonna be talking about the Spurs in this hour. Some irrational fears. This is a fun topic. So if you want to reach out to us on Twitter at I'm at 210 Fantasy
I've
God.
got those.
Pledger is at I am Pledger. We're also on Facebook Live and on YouTube. We're going to be talking about irrational fears, things that kind of scare us that probably don't scare most other people. Okay. I've shown Pledger video from my Vivint security system of me freaking out when I saw a frog. Okay. So we'll be talking about things like that. And you know what? People are reaching out to us on Twitter. We have new listeners, my man. I'm excited. Twitter's blowing up for us right now.
I know.
San Antonio Mama, Adriana, the undisputed queen of Spurs Twitter, reached out. Says, I haven't worked out in 2 weeks and have been drinking like a sailor. I'm afraid to step on that scale, but I'm getting back on the horse tomorrow. Adriana, good luck with that. I know you've got it in you. She goes to Camp Gladiator like I do. My wife does as well. So yeah, it's good times. Welcome to the show, Adriana. We're glad that you're listening. Spurs are back in action tonight.
They are
taking on the Denver Nuggets. We have no idea what kind of lineup the Spurs are going to throw out there. Who's going to guard Jokic? I mean, the MVP out there, he's a tough get, man. He is a tough player to defend.
They just embarrassed the defending Western Conference champions.
Yeah. Spurs only a 7.5 point underdog. I thought that was kind.
Okay.
I thought for sure it would have been 11 or 12, but maybe Vegas is giving the Spurs some love after the Spurs beat up on the Orlando Magic 2 nights ago. Now, here's the thing. The Spurs had 7 players in double figures, led by Devin Vassell, who had a huge third quarter. That steal at midcourt, which led to a dunk, and then also ended the quarter with a 3-pointer at the buzzer. He played out of his mind, played 25 minutes. He deserves every single one of those minutes tonight. But I kept on watching him play, and I'm thinking to myself, we've been in love with this guy for a while. Pledger and I on the Saturday Morning Hangover 2 years ago, we've been talking about Vassell for a long time when he played at Florida State. We said, hey, we like him and Patrick Williams. Wouldn't it be great if the Spurs drafted one of those two guys? And when Vassell's name was called, it was amazing. And then last year, we had all these people saying, yeah, well, he was drafted at 11, but, you know, Halliburton was picked 12, and Halliburton had an incredible year. Okay.
True, he did.
True, he did. But Vassell looks to have a higher ceiling. We're seeing that now. He's only 21 years old. So I started thinking about this. Who does he remind me of? his size, his ability to play defense on the 1s, 2s, and 3s, his ability to knock down a jumper, his ability to slash, to dunk, and to finish. Am I out of my mind thinking that he's a modern day Sean Elliott?
No, my first thought was when you asked me that question this morning, Ninja.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a young Ninja, like a hyper athletic, very good slasher. He can knock down shots when they're open, and that's probably only going to get better as he develops. And he can defend. He can defend multiple positions.
Now, for those of you who are younger than age, say 25, and don't remember Sean Elliott, and remember Sean Elliott as, oh, he's the voice of the Spurs, those Taco Cabana commercials from back in the day.
Or even just as Memorial Day Miracle, because I'm talking about like early 90s Sean.
Yeah, drafted 1989 Sean Elliott. That dude was super athletic. He and David Robinson running together was a sight to see. Those guys were athletic marvels. And you could see, he had the ability to knock down the open jumper, had the ability to slash, and he loved to move without the ball. He wasn't a 3-and-D guy. Sean Elliott was not a 3-and-D guy where he's going to hang in the corner like Danny Green or Bruce Bowen. He would meander around. See a little bit of that with Doug McDermott. I fell in love with McDermott in game 1. He moves off ball so well.
Did you see my tweet?
No.
Oh, man. I halfway through the game, because I just got caught just watching Doug McDermott move around the court without the ball. It is a thing of beauty. Every step he takes on the court has a purpose.
If he was on the 2014 Spurs team, the beautiful game, he would have had a role.
Yeah, he would have.
He is the one player, and Devin Vassell is probably the other player who I think would have had really big spots in there because of the way that they play. I fell in love with him. But man, Rudolph Renee reminding us that Sean Elliott was the number 3 pick.
Yes.
Vassell was the first lottery pick the Spurs had in a long, long time. People forget he was a lottery pick. Joshua Primo, if he turns out to be something big, and more every day, I forgive Brian
athleticism.
Wright. Yeah. The Spurs.
Remember when because I had to put you on the therapy couch for that.
Yes,
Remember when I kind of walked you back off the Primo hate?
I didn't hate Primo. I didn't hate Primo.
You hated the pick so much.
I hated the pick because I didn't understand it. What made me feel better about the Primo pick was the next day, Brian Wright, who doesn't exist, he's a hologram. I don't believe he exists. I mean, if Brian Wright was next to you at HEB, you would not know that that's the Spurs GM. The Spurs are the only franchise, only major professional franchise in San Antonio. We don't know who the GM is, right? He's a hologram. But apparently he did an interview, and I was reading it and watching it. And he said, look, Primo would have been a top 5 or 6 pick the following year.
Mm-hmm.
He's so young. And the second I heard that, all the anger that I had that the Spurs didn't get Sengun or Kai Jones, Jalen Johnson, all of it went away, because that was the explanation that I needed, that this dude is a top 5 pick in 2022. We need to get him in 2021 and just trust us. And that's all that I needed. I didn't want to hear, oh, well, he had the best jumper, or he had a really good workout day, or I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to hear he was a top 5 pick next year. We booked it. We marked it. We saw him. We took him. That's what I wanted. And I'm so glad that they did.
What if they would have came out and said, if Luka would have come out next year, top 5 pick, Luka Samanic. We're ahead of the curve.
I still have sports fan PTSD after Luka Samanic, and I'm so glad they got rid of him. I mean, he was a lost cause. What if he turns into something in New York? How angry would you be? There's only one player that I think the Spurs have really mismanaged over the years, and it wasn't Luka. Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker on a lot of other teams might average between 12 and 18 points a game. I'm thinking somewhere around 16. I think the Spurs mismanaged Lonnie because they mismanaged his minutes, because he didn't know what his role was going to be. And I hate it when people say, just be ready when your number's called. No, you have to mentally prepare for a game. And if he didn't know,
Simmons.
What's that?
I said, all right, Ben Simmons.
Dude, I mean, he had to mentally prepare us to know what to expect. If he is the sixth man of this team, and we know that because he was the first one off the bench on game one, then he can go in there knowing, hey, man, I'm going to get 25 to 30 minutes, and I'm going to be the first off the bench, and I'm going to be a big part of this offense. I think he's going to have a good season just having that security and the green light. He threw the ball up a lot. He had a terrible shooting percentage, but he played so well that he played so well defensively. He moved the ball around. He moved the offense around. I was fine with him having an off night of shooting.
I've always thought that they were grooming him to kind of be that Manu six man off the bench, to where he's not going to start the game unless they absolutely need him to due to injuries or whatever. But he's not going to start, but he is going to be a key piece from when he comes into the game, from when he checks in after that first whistle till the final whistle. He's going to be a part of the closing minutes. He's going to be a part of the big roster minutes. He's going to be a huge part. He's just not in the starting five.
Maybe the Primo pick and how good Primo is makes Lonnie better. It threatens his job in a different way, where it threatens his minutes. Super excited about this game. I think the Spurs might have a chance to do well tonight. Spurs are 7.5-point underdogs against the Denver Nuggets. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. But going back to Devin Vassell. Vassell is somebody that Pledger and I watched a lot of tape on, a lot of games on when he was in college. And Vassell is that type of player who he's going to have a 10, 12-year career. Vassell is the type of player who I don't know what his ceiling is. Is his ceiling, because some people are saying, yeah, Sean Elliott's a good comparison, but does he show shades of Kawhi Leonard?
You'll never know until you start to see him take those exponential jumps that Kawhi took in his development, because we all thought Kawhi was just going to be the next Bruce Bowen when he was first drafted.
Right.
He's going to be a 3-and-D guy.
But if Vassell turns into the next Sean Elliott, and he may already be there, I'd be happy with that, because Sean Elliott had a good career with the Spurs and his jersey's hanging in the rafters. Let's talk about some sports headlines. Here's Pledger with the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Thanks, Michael. Headline 2, Congress is seeking documents and information from the NFL's investigation into the Washington football team. 2 House Democrats have sent a letter to the NFL on Thursday demanding the league provide Congress with the results of the investigation into the Washington football team's workplace culture. The 5-page letter was written nearly 2 weeks after the leaked emails that led to Las Vegas Raiders head coach John Gruden's resignation. His emails over the 7-year span sent to the Washington football team president Bruce Allen include racist and anti-gay and misogynistic language in them. It also led to renewed calls from the NFL to release the findings of the independent investigation led by attorney Beth Wilkinson into Washington's workplace. You see any way Dan Snyder gets out of this and maintains his team?
No, he's done. Now, he can hold on to it for a little while, but eventually the shield is what matters in the NFL. And when they start turning on him, when billionaires start turning on other billionaires, there's going to be a problem.
The thing is, billionaires usually, unless it's an outlier billionaire that the rest of the league does not like Jerry Richardson was, they will excise you. But when it's the guys that have meant something to the league, the Jerry Joneses, the Al Davises, the Maras, the Rooneys,
we're in a different time, man.
I get it, but Dan Snyder has been a big part of the NFL these last 25 years, and he has a lot of very, very wealthy friends within this league.
No, we're in a very different time, and public relations drives everything. And more of this is going to come out, and we're going to get more and more details. Whether he releases it or not, it's going to come out. Some journalists will find out what's going on there. And HBO Sports brought up a really interesting point when it came to some of these Gruden emails. It wasn't so much that there was a surprise. It surprised nobody. It was the fact that it was hidden and they did nothing about it. So, man, I'm more is going to come out of this, and it's going to get ugly before it gets better. Next headline.
Headline 1.
Headline 1. Ben Simmons has told Philadelphia he's not mentally ready to play, Michael. He says that, mentally he's just not ready to embark upon the season. Sources have told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski he's met with the Sixers. He's met with Doc Rivers earlier today, and he's also spoke with teammates. And that Simmons has to be evaluated, and the next steps will be based on the determination of medical professionals, according to sources.
Okay, so why do I picture Ferris Bueller? Why do I picture Ben Simmons as Cameron laying down in bed saying, "I'm dying"?
Because it's fake. That's why. Because this is the last page in the playbook in terms of Ben Simmons. I'm not going to show up. Well, you're not going to get your money. All right, well, I'm going to show up, but I'm going to be a distraction and get suspended. All right, you've been suspended. Come back. My back's tightened up. I can't play. Doctors checked you out, said your back's fine.
Kawhi Leonard
Mental
playbook.
health.
Kawhi Leonard playbook. Kawhi Leonard playbook.
Here's the thing, and this is the most infuriating thing for me, because mental health is a real thing.
It's an important
thing. It is a very important thing. But much like the women who are looking for money by accusing someone of rape and looking for a payoff or something like that, it puts a stain on the people that actually have to deal with that.
Exactly.
And mental health has been such a stigma for so many years.
I think that stigma's going away.
It is going away.
It is going away because those old
I don't
ideas.
want something like this to put it back on.
Right. No, I get that. And for those of you listening, if you have a mental health issue, go get help. I have had depression in the past before. I saw a counselor 10 or 12 times. Okay. I'm perfectly proud and fine saying that. There is no stigma involved anymore. But I mean, there is for an older generation sometimes. But man, no one cares. Just get fixed. Just get better. Next headline.
Headline 0.
Our final headline. Dolphins coach Brian Flores has given the public endorsement of Tua Tagovailoa this morning, as rumors of potential trade with the Houston Texans for quarterback Deshaun Watson have flared up again this week, thanks to the reports from John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. Brian Flores came out today and said, quote, "I don't really get into rumors. Tua's our quarterback," end quote, when asked about the Watson propaganda. So, is that Brian Flores really embracing his quarterback? Or is that just Brian Flores playing to the media?
He's playing to the media. If he wanted to embrace the quarterback, he would outright come out and say that that's their team, that's his quarterback, and be adamant about it. When he says it right now,
well, I mean, he did.
I know, but
the actual words were, "I don't get into rumors."
But
Tua is our quarterback.
No one seems to believe him, though, and there's a reason for that. Because a lot of what they say is what they say publicly, and what they say privately are two completely different things. And I think everyone knows that he's lying.
Here's my favorite thing about this entire thing. You're going to do what you have to save your job, especially in an organization like the NFL. When you're 1-5, it is really hard to look your owner in the face and be like, "We've done everything right. Tua's the guy. We just got to keep going with this," especially when your owner, Stephen Ross, is the one pushing for this trade. At some point, you're either going to be fired standing on the Tua Hill against your own owner, or you're going to acquiesce to your owner and give him what he wants, which seems to be Deshaun Watson, in an attempt to save your own job.
What a terrible PR move that's going to be. Terrible move. And I know before the show, you were like, "I'm going to test your morality."
That's the 411 and a 210.
I am going to test your morality, because
bring it.
You can look at me,
bring it,
and you can be like, "Yeah, man, it is a horrible play." All right, it is. I'm not saying what he's accused of is great. It's awful. It is horrendous. If true, he should be in jail. How many people that have been in jail have played for your New Orleans Saints? Better yet, would you rather have Deshaun Watson or Jameis Winston?
Okay, first of all, Jameis Winston has not been a good guy for much of his life.
Exactly.
He seems to have matured over the last few years. So if we were having this conversation 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said neither. But Jameis Winston seems to have matured since he went to New Orleans, changed the scenery, different coaching, different leadership, Drew Brees, whatever the case may be.
You can say all those things are in play when Deshaun Watson leaves the Texans.
The different no, but the thing about it is this, is that I wouldn't want to have Deshaun Watson for what it's just one of those things. It's talent, yes, but I can't imagine cheering if the Miami Dolphins were my favorite team. My friend Anthony Pittman, that's his favorite team. Ed Suarez, that's his favorite team. I cannot see myself. I cannot see myself cheering for them.
I'm talking about the Saints.
Would I want him there
right now? Said, all right, we'll give you 2 1s and 2 2s to get Deshaun Watson, and Texans go, all right, and you end up getting Deshaun Watson. Let's say he's placed on the commissioner's exempt list for 5-6 games. The offseason, all of this goes away. He comes back. There's picketing, much like there was at the beginning of Michael Vick returning to the NFL to play for the Philadelphia 76ers, until the Eagles are 10-6 and division champs and playing in the playoffs, and he's running for 50-yard touchdowns and throwing lasers, and we start to see that Vic that we saw in Atlanta. All of a sudden, the narrative changes on that player. Cowboys fans, I'll never root for Greg Hardy. He gets a sack. I see Cowboys fans jumping up and down after what Greg Hardy did.
Now, the
you
difference
cannot
is,
tell me that if Deshaun Watson is the top 5 quarterback that we all know he is in the NFL, that if he starts leading a Saints team that has great weapons and a really, really good defense, and all of a sudden they look like they're Super Bowl bound, that you would not be cheering.
I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't want him. I probably wouldn't cheer. I honestly think that there's limits to what is acceptable for your team. And Greg Hardy was never the face of the Cowboys. He never was. And Michael Vick, as awful as what he did, didn't do things to human beings. And it's one thing to have one indiscretion, have 2 or 3, be a D-bag. That's one thing. But when you have 22 accusers, and for those of you all who think that they're all out for money, I'm sorry. Those are 22 people there. The odds of them all lying and one person telling the truth, that makes no sense. That makes no sense to say, oh, well, 22 people are lying and this person is being honest. He's just, they're just after him. That's stupid. That's ridiculously dumb. Okay.
It's naive.
It's naive.
But at the same time,
but I wouldn't cheer for him. I honestly wouldn't.
At the same time,
I don't think I would cheer for the Saints if that happened.
The Houston police, they decide that they can't prosecute any further.
It's virtually impossible.
And they say no, and then all these allegations go away over the off season.
There's a reason why I give my daughter a taser and mace. It's because far too often this is virtually impossible to prosecute. Okay, it's not saying that it can't be prosecuted, but it's virtually impossible sometimes, especially if someone else has the money and the attorneys to get something done. It's very, very difficult. But these ladies have power in the sense that they have power in the numbers that they have there.
Yes.
It's difficult. People always say, well, why are they coming out of the woodwork now? Well, it's because they feel more comfortable because they know that they're not alone. Okay. Deshaun Watson is a complete D-bag. He's a criminal. I would never cheer for him. And what I hope is that when he goes off to the Dolphins or whatever team, I hope that before he gets to that game, he gets hit by a bus because that's what he deserves. Okay. I am so sorry, but Deshaun Watson is somebody not worth cheering for. Greg Hardy was somebody not worth cheering for. Ben Roethlisberger is still somebody not worth cheering for.
Yet people cheer for him.
You know what?
Did cheer for him.
Times are different, man. Social media is different. If Ben Roethlisberger did what he did in 2021, I mean, if Twitter was around back then, he would have been crucified career-wise.
The Drew Show on our YouTube Live said people cheered for Kobe. People memorialized Kobe now.
Kobe is an interesting topic, and I really don't want to get too deep into Kobe. Yeah, I don't want to get into Kobe. I mean, it's one of those things where I wasn't, there were so many different stories going involved there. It also wasn't a serial thing that he was doing.
And that's the difference in this. You're talking about 22 cases.
Right.
That is a serial offense if proven to be true. And you're talking about something on the level of what we were dealing with Bill Cosby.
Yep. Thank you, Hannibal Buress, for pointing that out. But man, we took a dark turn. This was a fun show up until now, and now I'm over here as a girl dad, all pissed off, man. So when we come back, let's lighten the mood. Talk about some irrational fears.
Ooh.
I showed Pledger me running away from a frog. That video was captured on my security cam at home.
That's nothing.
But let's talk about irrational fears when we come back, because it's a scary time of year. It's Halloween time. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Football in America is a special game, a unique game played like nowhere else on earth. It's a rare game, and the men that play it make it so. Lamb, Smith, Martin, and Coach Mike McCarthy. And today these men walk the gridiron with one thing in common, with one mission between them: winning. The Dallas Cowboys play here on the home of the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-491-8606. That's 800-491-8606. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-491-8606 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Hey, sports bettors, I'm talking to you. This is Rob Thompson here to tell you about my favorite sports book. That's BetUS. Football's here. You need to be playing it. It's been a great couple of weeks. Why not start now? Well, BetUS is the best place to start because they've been around for 25 years. That's the integrity I'm looking for with the longevity. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, you name it, they've got it. To join, it's so easy. Call today, 1-800-79-BET-US. Again, 1-800-79-BET-US. And when you dial it, remember this, KZDC. If you tell them KZDC, that's us, you're going to get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody does that. I bet at BetUS, so should you. I want you to join BetUS.com today. Call them right now. Start betting with America's favorite sportsbook. And remember to use KZDC for up to 200% in bonuses. BetUS.com. It's where the game begins.
Can I get a weight reading on the cat in exam 3?
Zuri needs a new vet tech after their current one literally moved to a farm. But finding an ideal replacement takes some training.
This is like herding cats.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, welcome to Smoky Mo's.
At Smoky Mo's Barbecue, we smoke our meats fresh, in-house, each and every day. We think it makes all the difference in the quality of our moist, flavorful brisket and turkey, and the mouth-watering tenderness of our ribs and pork loin. Got a crowd? We've got group packs and full-service catering. Up early? We've got made-to-order breakfast tacos. Find your store at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com and come see us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smoky Mo's Barbecue. The pit is lit.
Hey, it's Rob with my good buddy Jack Overman from Service First AC Repair and Plumbing. Hey, Jack, when someone calls you for plumbing or an AC repair, can you fix it that day?
No sweat. With Service First AC Repair and Plumbing, we don't sweat the small stuff or the big stuff.
210 no sweat.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you love football, come to the San Antonio Quarterback Club every Tuesday from 11 to 1 at the Sierra Hills Baptist Church. Join UTSA coaches for Roadrunner game highlights, plus feature guest speakers for great food and football talk. The San Antonio Quarterback Club is a proud supporter of Gridiron Heroes Spinal Cord Injury Foundation. Tuesday's guest speaker is former Madison Maverick quarterback Brian Ehrlich, who is now an NFL agent. Join us Tuesday 11 to 1 at Sierra Hills Baptist Church for food and football talk at the San Antonio Quarterback Club.
Get the latest on the Aggies all week long, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Every year, San Antonio Sports Star hosts Rock the Mic, an open audition to find the 210's next broadcaster. Guess what? I'm one of the old winners. Rock the Mic number 4. This year's contest will have online submissions and in-person auditions for the lucky few that are chosen weekly. We're going to have it down to a top 12 and then to a top 8, then down to a top 4. Are you excited about Rock the Mic there, Pledge?
I'm always excited about Rock the Mic. It's such a fun time. I mean, I meet great people there. I've met you. I have met Quinn. Obviously, RJ Ochoa is a product of Rock the Mic. Carolina Teague, Thomas Mott. I've met other great people that haven't even won. Dario Davis, Brandon Medina. I met through Rock the Mic. Texas Drew has come through Rock the Mic. It's just a great chance to get out and meet the people that listen and really get to interact with them. And I absolutely enjoy that.
It's a party atmosphere. So come on out. All the Slackers locations, you can go onto our website, sasportstar.com, know where we're going to be at. I'll be at some of the auditions as well, just saying hi to people. I'm looking forward to it. Speaking of Rock the Mic winners, the reigning champ.
Rock the Mic actually brought to you by Jim Beam's and Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. So
Jim Beam, that's
get you right here,
near and dear to my heart.
A little bit warm and fuzzy right here.
Our reigning Rock the Mic champ, Quinn Hudson. Don't know if you know this, but he's a stand-up comedian.
I do. Quinn's actually going to be performing tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, he has 3 shows. He is opening up for Damon Williams. This is going to be over at, let's see here, Upstage Comedy Lounge.
It's 4441 Waltham Road.
So he has 1 show on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday. The Saturday shows are at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. So you can go to upstagecomedy.com and buy tickets. Exciting times.
I have yet. I know you did. You did go actually see
I
him?
did not. No, he performed in the Hill Country, and I wanted to make it out there, but I couldn't make it that night.
Oh, I've been wanting to go check him out.
We may need to. You know what? I want to go watch him, but not actually tell him that I'm there.
Yeah.
Just kind of show up afterwards, say, "Hey, great show."
I also would like to hide in a darkened corner and heckle him.
Very nice. Welcome back to halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star. We go from noon to 2 p.m. We've talked about a lot of sports, a lot of Spurs. Jeff Garcia from Ken's 5 and Spurs Zone, Locked On Spurs rather, just reached out to us. He posted on Twitter, said Josh Primo is looking really good. Doug McDermott told him that Primo does not need to change his shot, that he is looking good. Why send him to Austin then? Let's not do that. Let's keep him around.
Technically in Austin, right?
I know, but I know it's that trigger that
it's coming,
that Pop has there. You know, he's like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to send him to Austin.
Well, it's not a bad thing to send him to Austin.
Yeah,
because if he's only going to play like 5 minutes in a blowout like he did against Orlando, and either a blowout one way or the other, then let him develop his game in Austin, and then call him up when the Austin season is done.
Yeah.
And like I said, I adjusted my timeline. I thought it was initially a couple years after the summer league. I was like, maybe he's on the Keldon timeline all of a sudden. Maybe by February we start to see Josh Primo working his way down here. Like he'll be up and down on off nights and stuff, I think, throughout the G League season. the way other players would be. But I think towards March, you could start to see him starting to creep into a rotation.
And people are chanting his name.
That's the thing that I think is going to hurt him, though. Because Pop doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Pop doesn't like, because ego.
Yep.
And feeling that. And Spurs fans, by chanting his name like that, you're doing him a disservice because all you're going to do
can't help it.
is force Pop into being like, can't have him yet.
We can't help it. Hey, we're a little bit over a week away from Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about things that scare us, right? Scary movies and things that are.
You're a jump scare guy.
I try not to be,
but you are.
But my wife has gotten me into horror movies, right? So we were talking the other day about like things that scare us that shouldn't scare us, some irrational fears. I took my kids to the Houston Aquarium last weekend. Enjoyed every moment of it, except for the 5 minutes that I was on the Ferris wheel. Ferris wheels scare me to death.
Whoa, a Ferris wheel?
Dude, I've been at the Ferris wheel, the kiddie one at the rodeo.
Yes.
That goes up like maybe 8 feet. Freaks me out.
Are you scared that it's going to be like a cartoon and it's going to come off and just start rolling away?
I've been afraid of this even before Final Destination. Okay.
By the way, irrational fear comes from Final Destination in terms of like driving behind something that's carrying like logs on a flatbed or like things on the back or in trucks or like carrying a large load. Like irrational fear of that because of Final Destination.
My wife thinks it's crazy that I told her I'd rather jump out of a plane and go skydiving instead of going on like a really big Ferris wheel. Freaks me out. The swings at Fiesta, Texas also freak me out. On Facebook Live, Ronald Schmicka says, come on, Michael. We were one of the first ones to get on the boomerang when it was open. It's different, though, because I like roller coasters. That's fine. Here's the thing.
What is it about the Ferris wheel?
Just being suspended in the air. Just being kind of just suspended. I told my wife the other day that I didn't go skydiving last year when I was invited. I know this guy who's a Saints fan who is a trainer over at Lackland. He kind of helps people learn how to skydive. And I couldn't do it last year because I weighed too much.
Here's the thing. Then you should have an irrational fear of stepping onto an elevator because you are suspended in air, in fact.
I can't see it, though. What
about the ones that are all like the fancy hotels with the all glass elevator?
Yes.
Those are fun.
Those are a little bit different. The elevator going up the Tower of America,
though.
The elevator
you are
going up
suspended and you can see.
Okay, so that one's different though. Tower of America's, I have to like grab onto the railing and close my eyes to get up there. To go all the way up there to pay so much money for mediocre food. I have to go. I get frightened and then my wallet gets scared.
See, I have an irrational fear, but my fear is totally irrational. I have a real fear of snakes. I'm terrified of snakes. Grass snakes, garter snakes, all of them. And long, just no.
Yeah. I get it.
But that's not the irrational fear. The irrational fear is I am even terrified of snakes on TV.
No.
I could not watch a documentary about snakes. Like, you know that one where Snoop narrates the planet Earth, where this thing's walking onto the beach, this little marmot or something, and all of a sudden these little snakes come, and then this whole island of snakes and rocks is just chasing this little rat. Terrified. Had to change. Couldn't do it. Can't watch snakes on a plane.
Can't watch the movie Anaconda. Snakes on a plane.
Anaconda, I could. That was.
I mean,
that was so horribly CGI'd, and it was just one. And the chances of me actually ever running into an anaconda, are so small. But like a small snake. Ugh.
I should never tell my irrational fears to my brother-in-law.
Why?
Love that man, but he will bring them up. You know, like I hate balloons. I'm kind of afraid of balloons because growing up, I had this one display of balloons that kind of got away from us, got in the grass, and all popped when I went to go pick it up. It freaked me out. Someone on Facebook Live is amusing you.
Yeah, the Drew show. Elevators don't rock back and forth the way a Ferris wheel does. He sees where you're coming from, Michael. Also, irrational fear. Pledger is the Indiana Jones of the SA Sports Stars. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Do you get that reference?
I saw Indiana Jones for the first time about 6 months ago.
Okay. Because I know you're behind on like the pop culture from the 80s and 90s for the most part.
All I knew
you were
was
sheltered as a child.
I was okay with it. I was okay. I tell you what, Harrison Ford, man, he doesn't make bad movies.
Indiana Jones is fantastic. Which one did you watch? Temple of Doom,
The
Raiders
first
of
one.
the Lost Ark?
I'm going in chronological order, so I watched the first one.
Yeah. That maybe that's probably where part of my irrational fear came from. I was a huge Indiana Jones fan, had the hat, threw on a belt across my chest to kind of be. I wanted to be an archaeologist when I grew up.
So, kind of like The Hangover. It's a satchel, it's not a purse.
It's a satchel.
Dude, this is good times, man. Halloween next weekend. Cowboy fans, what are you gonna do, baby? What are you gonna do?
I know what I'm gonna do.
The Cowboys play at 7:20 on Halloween night. Hate to break it to you, someone's driving around right now going, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I've got kids. I've got nephews and nieces."
I don't. Well, I do, but they're not here.
So
they live far away,
Yeah.
and I don't have kids, so I will be indulging myself at the Rue Halloween party,
which
the night before.
My wife doesn't say that I can't go. I just know that it's good for me not to go.
You're probably right, but I'm still gonna try and convince you to come.
My wife loves you, man. She likes you so much. She goes, you should spend more time with him. I'm like, I know. I spend a lot of time with him because Pledge, again, I've become introverted over the years.
Jonathan C says, "Party at the Rue." It's
always a party.
At the Rue.
It's always I have gone to the Rue and had 1 to 15 drinks with you. But one thing I've never done was had a drink that's 1,500 years old.
Yeah. Although I kind of want one now.
Yeah. So real quick, tell us the story.
Okay, so in Israel, out near the Gaza, a 15-year-old Byzantine wine complex was found, and it was a white wine. It was known as kind of the Gaza Ascalon wine. And they found it, and it's perfectly preserved. And you hear about this on shipwreckages all the time, finding like old wine. This was massive, and it was a huge winery that they ended up finding out.
Did anyone taste it?
I don't know, but my first thought when hearing this story this morning was, I want to try it. Because wine's supposed to get better with age, right?
I mean, think about it. If it gets better by age and it's 20 and 30 years old, 1,500 years, it's a fountain of youth.
I'm very intrigued by this. I know my first thought was I want to try it, but I know a lot of people, especially dealing with things that are unearthed from a long time ago, where you're dealing with plagues and different. I don't know if a lot of people would be as giddy to try it as I am. What about you?
Well,
what was your
mean,
first thought about hearing about a 1,500-year-old wine?
My first thought was cool, gross, and maybe if it was a red, okay, but a white wine, I don't know how that keeps. But we're gonna put a bow on the show when we come back, dude. I saw one of the scariest things I'd ever seen before on Netflix last night. Let's talk about what we're streaming here on Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Score $1,000 now into the
Can
winning
you put a clock on
keyword,
here?
Texans. TEXANS. Texans at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Listen up, sports fans. This is Rob Thompson here to tell you about my favorite sports book, BetUS. Football tonight, football tomorrow, football all the time. And let's not even get started with basketball. It's here. Let's play it. I only endorse one sportsbook, and that's BetUS.com. You may ask me why. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. It's because they've been around for 25 years. That proves integrity because of the longevity. You need to know you're going to get paid, and they do, on time, on target. You also need to know you're going to play everything you want to play, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all those great props. To join, it's easy. I want you to call 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US. They'll do the typing, you do the talking, and you'll be laying money tonight. Nobody in the industry gives you bigger bonuses than BetUS, and if you'll join them right now and mention KZDC, you'll get up to 200% in bonuses. That's free money. Go do it. Nobody beats that. I bet at BetUS, so should you. Join BetUS.com today. Start betting tonight with America's favorite sportsbook. That's BetUS.com. Remember KZDC, BetUS.com, where the game begins.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Dallas Mavericks started their regular season last night in Atlanta, falling to the Hawks 113-87. Luka Doncic had 18 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists with 5 turnovers in the Dallas defeat. The Hawks had 6 scorers in double figures, led by Cam Reddish with 20 off of the bench. The Astros and the Red Sox return to Minute Maid Park tonight for Game 6 of the ALCS, with a chance for Houston to punch their ticket to the World Series. First pitch is scheduled for 7:08 tonight. And 2 Texas teams in the NBA are in action tonight. The Rockets host the Thunder for their home opener at 7, and the Spurs have their first road game of the season tonight in Denver with an 8 p.m. tip-off. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
The Halloween parties at the Rue Pub have become legendary. Plan now. The biggest Halloween party in San Antonio will be Saturday, October 30th. Get your costume ready. The Rue Pub closes off part of the parking lot and will have DJs outside and inside the Rue and Angry Elephant and a $1,000 costume contest. The Rue Pub at 281 in Redland Road. Plan now for the 8th annual Rue Pub Halloween block party on Saturday, October 30th. We'll see you at the Rue and wear a costume.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074, or go to hill-electric.com.
I'm Dr. Torres with the Institute for Functional Health, San Antonio's original holistic health clinic. Holistic does not mean complementary or alternative. It means we look at the whole picture. We've changed thousands of lives, and your overall health is our passion.
I no longer have to take sleeping pills, no blood pressure medication, or cholesterol pills. My insurance changed from high risk to standard.
I take 0 medications and said goodbye to sinus infections. I finally feel normal.
I no longer have anxiety attacks and have stopped taking pre-diabetic medication and sleeping pills.
I've lost 30 pounds, have more energy than ever before, have no pain, and my labs are perfect.
When things seem out of control, the one thing that we can control is your health. You will have a customized doctor-supervised wellness plan that gets to the root of the problem instead of masking symptoms. You get results, not refills. At the Institute for Functional Health, your overall health is our passion. Call 210-468-1891 for your free consultation. 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Hey y'all, I'm Grant Pinkerton of Pinkerton's Barbecue in downtown San Antonio. We only smoke prime meats with a blend of post oak and mesquite. Come see us for some of those giant beef ribs, tender brisket, and a cold big red. We have a Texas-sized bar, great selection of bourbon, and tons of local beers. I love sports, so we have plenty of screens to watch them on. We're open Wednesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner or until we sell out. Come early, come hungry, and stay late.
Hear that? That's the sound of a man guarding his home around the clock. Because he has 24/7 professional monitoring from Simply Safe Home Security. With 24/7 professional monitoring, Simply Safe keeps watch night and day. If there's trouble, Simply Safe alerts them and will dispatch emergency help when needed. Protect your home and your sleep. Take 30% off a new system at simplysafe.com today.
But we have a truck leaving with a big order on Tuesday.
Tina's floor manager retired, leaving her tortilla factory flat out.
What do you mean she's on a silent retreat?
She must fill the role and all those orders.
She's gonna oversee production.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb.
All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs.
Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Don't mind the brake light. We'll get you there. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's been a fun 2 hours, but the fun continues at 4 o'clock. Jason Minix will be here with the Blitz. Andrew Monaco will join him at 5 p.m. He's the voice of the Aggies. The Aggies taking on South Carolina Saturday night. John Machota from The Athletic will join Minix to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And then later on, the high school game of the week, Reagan at Roosevelt, live on the San Antonio Sports Star, energized by Hill Electric.
So what are you watching? What is this Midnight Mass?
Dude, Midnight Mass freaked me out. Completely freaked me out. It's a 7-part miniseries that just came out on Netflix. Amazing. It's about a mysterious priest who shows up to this island community and all the supernatural things that happen when he arrives. It is crazy. I was talking to Rob Thompson about it before the show. He's halfway through it.
Okay.
And I told him episodes 1 through 3 are good or fine, but 4 through 7 will keep you up at night. Crazy show.
See, I just got done. The final episode this week of Titans dropped on HBO Max. This has been a really good series. It's been a great season of Titans. I really enjoyed it. It started real hard. It did not disappoint.
Oh, man. I am looking forward to another weekend of sports. Thank you for joining us on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250.
At Manrique Custom Vision, you'll find some people just aren't good candidates for Z-LASIK. That's why they have different technologies for different patients. They are a custom vision center focused on helping people